You're listening to Prep Insider Radio with your hosts, Tommy Morris.
Good. This is nothing to do with State Creek baseball. I'm sorry, but have you seen a series of fortunate events?
Christian Pedersen.
I mean, I'm out here grinding. I'm putting in hours. I'm getting there at 5 a.m. to cheer on the water polo team at practice. I'm showing up to our basketball team. I'm showing up to our football games. We don't even have a football team, and I'm supporting that.
Noah Laxina.
And Noah Laxina's number 3 tip for Valentine's Day is...
chill, man. Things are going to be all right. All right? You don't want to force it. Let it happen. You're going to be all right.
And Bodie Da Silva from Scorebook Live.
I mean, he brought basketball into that one. I got to give him 9 out of 10. I like that.
Yeah, Robert, I have a question. During this whole pandemic, recruiting's changed so much. There's so many guys that in San Diego have wanted to grab spots rather than wait later into their years to commit. But for you, at what point kind of did you weigh, should I pick something early on from one of the earlier offers rather than wait till now? Or were you still thinking, oh, maybe I'll show senior year film, or that's a little questionable? What was that process like trying to navigate?
In the beginning, I was going to wait till I got my senior film out there because a lot of coaches were asking for that. But then as we got closer and closer, and they were saying they're pushing back the season, it was just getting tough, seeing all these other kids get offers, commits, and you're just sitting here like, where's mine? And it just, Cornell, we were talking, and they finally offered me, and it was all good. And I was like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to be for my next 4 years. So I just decided to make that decision.
Yeah, I was going to say, you mentioned Alabama at the beginning, but that's not a bad, you didn't settle necessarily. You'll end up with one of the best degrees in the world and getting to play football. Although I guess the price you do have to pay is cold weather. Have you visited Ithaca, New York yet ever in your lifetime, let alone in a winter?
Not Ithaca, but I've been to New York City. I went after Christmas or after New Year's.
That's not Ithaca, man.
There.
That is a different. Cold. That is a different world of cold up in upstate central New York area.
Oh yeah. That's what they say.
So let's go ahead and say we'll start a GoFundMe now to get you adequate amounts of cold weather clothing, get you ready for that.
Get them sponsored by North Face.
Dude, no lie, man. That is the best investment that I made when I went to Syracuse. Was just a really solid North Face and Timberland boots.
Ooh. Yes. Okay, Christian was in the Timbs.
You haven't you? Yeah, thanks for that, Noah. Really appreciate the live mic there. Kids, cover your ears. Yeah, you've seen me covering. That's what I wear to games, man. That's
true.
He
does come in.
I've always been wearing those,
has,
and it is only out of holy hell. My feet were cold in the real snow. No one in San Diego is worth it or is ready for it. Have you? Did you get the offer in a phone call? Were you somewhere funny? I feel like those stories are kind of gone right now, where it's oh yeah, I was in the middle of class, so I hung up on him. But how did you actually get the offer from Cornell?
So we've been practicing 1 day a week, and they're just waiting on certain emails to send me. So they send me an email. So I was just waiting on the call from the coach. So then I'm just sitting through practice, dang, am I going to miss this call during practice? I'm what is he going to say to me? Oh. I'm just thinking about that the whole time while I'm practicing. So then finally practice ends. I just look at my phone. The head coach texts me. He's like, I want to get on the phone with you, talk about joining Big Red. So I was like, okay. I sent him a text back. But then for me, forgetting that they're 3 hours ahead, we had practice at 5. So he has a 1-year-old son. So he's putting his son down. So I'm like, all right. So he doesn't get back to me till 7. So I'm like, oh, I'm working out. I'm just waiting on the phone call. And finally he just called me around 8. And I'm like, Coach, it's 11 your time, so why are you up this late? And he's just like, I just want to give you this offer. You're really part of this. We want you really to be a part of this family. And I was like, well, thank you. Appreciate the offer. And I gave him an answer the next morning.
I hope you let him sleep in a little bit the next morning before you texted him.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations. I want to ask just a little bit about what last season was like for you. I tried counting up your total yards, but it broke my computer. It said something like 40 trillion. I mean, every week it was something, but every week it was something a little bit different. Some weeks it would be big rushing games. Some weeks it would be big receiving games. What was it like really getting to be the focal point of the offense last year?
It was pretty good. I had Odom to help me. He can run, so it would take pressure off me. So then some teams would go after him, and then I'll eat. And then some teams would come after me, and then he'll eat. So it was a good bounce off each other. And we had a good receiving core. We got Brody Schicker. So we were able to spread the ball around. So there's really not that much pressure on one player.
You guys have a great coaching staff and you guys play some of the funnest offense I've seen around the county in the last years. Tell us about how fun it is to be in that offense and that dynamic with all those athletes.
It's very fun. You know, we like to play fast. Fast is basically our main goal. We just got to be quicker than the other team. So we just do a lot of crazy stuff. This is crazy. You know, we go some wacky plays, some just regular plays. We go run it right back. We'll hit you with something you won't expect it.
I know you don't want to talk about your schemes, but you guys be doing some stuff, man. If you guys haven't seen a Grossmont game, you got to go check them out because they're elite for sure.
Well, has there ever been a point though where you've like been at practice and coach is scheming something up and you're like, Coach, this might even be a little too much for us. Like this might, like, Coach, what are you doing here? This is some spaceship offense. What's going on? Or have you guys always vibed with what Coach is putting out?
Yeah, Coach Carl will be having some crazy ideas.
He's a mad scientist, man. He's legit an offensive mad scientist.
Yeah, science is his favorite word. But yeah, I mean, most of the time we vibe. We vibe on the plays. I mean, if we have an issue with it, we'll talk about it and smooth it out, and we'll be good.
Should we put it on the poll at SD Prep Insider on Twitter and Instagram? Should Tom Carlo coach all the games this season in a lab coat and goggles?
Halloween year, right?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Actually,
Yes. Okay.
Yes,
Deal.
He really does dial it up.
But we'd have to have somebody behind him with like the little beakers that have smoke coming out of it and all that kind of stuff. So his playbook could always just be looking super mysterious. Bodie?
Yeah, looking at your numbers last year, 10 rushing touchdowns, 10 receiving touchdowns. But the one that stuck out to me was 18.1 yards per catch. I mean, for a running back, that's super rare. Can you tell me kind of how your game fits into being not, I wouldn't say a deep threat, but I mean, you're obviously able to catch it and keep the yards going.
Yeah, I mean, we like to spread the running back out. So usually when you spread the running back out, they put a linebacker on you. And I mean,
barbecue chicken. That's barbecue chicken.
Yeah, linebacker on me it's linebacker. You know, they gave me the ball and it's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it right there. So what have you been up to during quarantine, man? I mean, you'll give me all the football stuff that you're staying in shape. I don't need any of the cliches, sports stuff. All the coaches know you're a good, responsible kid. But like, have you taken up guitar? Can you juggle now? Have you been playing a ton of video? Like, there has to be something that you have been doing with quarantine time that is fun.
I've been cooking and just video games pretty much.
Okay. Nice. So give us the highlights of both. What have been some of the best video games that you've been playing during quarantine, and what have been some of the best recipes that you cooked up?
Well, me and the boys are always playing Call of Duty. You know, we take those dubs in Warzone pretty much any time of the day. But cooking, I got this air fryer. You know, I'll be like doing some weird stuff in there. Be making s'mores, just like basic stuff. But I'll be making some chicken, some cabbage, making wrapped chicken, stuff like that. You know,
I like that.
That air fryer is gonna be clutch in college. You got to bring that. You got to bring that.
Okay, well, let me ask you this: is the what was the George Foreman grill? Is that still a thing, or is that not a thing anymore? Was that only my generation? Because I feel like that was the key thing in college for my generation. Was you got to have that George Foreman grill? Is that not
like that could be essential?
But is that not like
that's not like the thing with anymore? The air fryer, you literally just put it in there and then let it do what you got to do.
Deal.
Yeah,
10 minutes.
So many things.
Yeah.
Tops.
10 minutes tops.
It's a one-step boom. Like Grossmont's offense, one step boom, touchdown.
So we're gonna have to call them the air fryer this year.
Right. The air fryer, I like it.
The air fryer offense, I can sort of get behind that.
What
do you think? Does that work or no?
Once they start putting up 50 burgers, then it gets easy.
That sounds good.
Can you cook it? All right, we'll put that on the poll too at SD Prep Insider. Can you cook a 50 burger in an air fryer?
I like that.
Deal. We're talking to Robert Tucker from Grossmont High School. Thank you so much for joining us, man. We'll get out of here. I always just like to put people in rivalry type situations on the way out. If you guys were playing, you said it was Black Ops was the primary. That was the Call of Duty, whichever Call of Duty it was. But
yeah.
if there was a Call of Duty league for a CIF style thing, where do we throw Grossmont into that tournament? Are you guys in an open division school for Call of Duty? Like where, can you win a ship? Are you on that team? If you had to put like 4 guys on your team together to represent Grossmont in a Call of Duty league for a CIF championship, who would it be?
I'm taking my boys. You know, we're gonna win that open division, no doubt. Got my boy Isaiah, Chris, Gio, and we got a sub Toby. You know,
Oh, he's got
come in
a
and play.
sixth man. He got a fifth man. A fifth man.
We got a sub, yes, sir.
First team all Call of Duty.
First team all Call of Duty. Hey, look, man, let's hope we don't reach that point. We got 40 something days till sports are supposedly getting back in session. But you know, if we do reach that point, maybe we'll have to have him back on as our Call of Duty correspondent.
I want Tucker McCaffrey on my team. That's who I want.
Yes, sir.
Deal. All right, Robert, thank you so much for joining us. You have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon, my man.
All right, sounds good. Thank you for having me.
Later. I like that kid.
He's a good kid.
Good kid. Solid kid. He was a little too. He was a little excited about put that on the poll for coach in a lab coat. But you're right. No, I would assume that most people look at an offense like that and go, "Dang, I wish I had played in one of those."
Right.
I
mean, he's showcasing all of his skills. That kid gets to really show his talent to everybody because they ask him to do so many different things, and he does really well at it.
Yeah, those numbers he put up as a junior, that's what you see from a senior. So.
Right. If he was in a PPR league.
Yeah.
Come on now.
That would be an interesting thing to do, high school fantasy football. I don't know. I feel like that'd be unsuccessful.
I feel like
overall
it would be hard because obviously, like having to get the stats from everybody as soon as possible.
No, I'm just thinking more about it. The teams are too inconsistent. Like high school football, you can go from 1 week.
Yeah,
somebody is.
Hey, the bench is more important than ever in this one. You'd have to have a good bench.
Well, and someone would find a game. Oh, I know this is going to be a blowout this week.
So you're we're picking him up.
Someone on the waiver.
Bro, I know, like someone would pick me up off the waiver wire. Like, oh, they're playing this.
Look at that. It takes 5 sentences to get Noah back into it. Can I remind you that I was exceptionally good at football when I was in high school?
I wouldn't start myself, but if I see me going against a bad team, I'm waiver wiring me. Then I'm gonna use myself as trade bait to get a real one. I'm super serious.
Colton, what would be your approach to doing a high school fantasy team? What would be your mind? We'll go around the room and we'll get it. Bodie, I'll come to you next. I'll close out. We'll get your mindset on how you would go about winning a high school fantasy football league here in San Diego.
I think I go the same way as I go in my leagues now, running back heavy.
Got to.
That's the only way.
How's your league looking right now? How's your team?
Man, my team's nice. If it's not for injuries, I'd be in first place.
Right.
But last week I had Devontae and Tyler Lockett both dropped 50 for me.
Oh my
so it was
goodness!
a good week.
I would be if I refresh my feed and I saw that after the first time, I'd just delete the app. I'm not going on this till Tuesday to go look at the damage that was done. But I wouldn't look at it again. I'd just be hurt. My Sunday would be over.
Fantasy's a full-time job, man. Let me tell you.
Buddy, what would be your approach to the season?
I'd start looking at some 8-man teams because less guys on the field, get the offense going.
I like that.
Yeah, no, you and I are down there. I'd be hawking all the D 3 versus 5 mismatches I could. I'd be gambling very heavily on some unknown elements that you just can't scout necessarily what Yuma is going to do versus Calexico, but sometimes you just would have to lean into that game, just being like,
I'm rolling the ball here.
Well, it's also no one else has this, so it's one of those ones where okay, nobody else has anybody on that offense,
right?
So I'm not playing against your quarterback is connecting to my receiver or anything like that. You're just all right, this is just I'm doing my own little thing here, and we'll just play extreme money ball, and we will annex the odds.
I watched it again.
That movie hits
every time.
You want to know what's nuts though?
What?
Did you see what Billy Bean's new job is?
What is he?
He's the GM of the Red Sox now.
Wow.
So the ending to that movie makes
more
less
so their company, I believe.
But still,
yeah,
the ending to that movie is less romantic now because it's like there should be a subtitle. But in the end, he did go back with that money.
He did. You gotta give it. But I feel like that going back to the fantasy part. I feel like that's why if we had a fantasy season with the high school players. That would be super interesting because you know how crazy trade talks would be.
We couldn't do that.
The trash talk between Tommy, I feel like that would be crazy. That would be so crazy. Every week I'd be like, Tommy.
Oh, no. We're not
We'd
doing
have to
that
get
show.
shirts made.
We're already doing shirts. We're doing custom shirts every week. So sure, great.
So yeah. The week I play everyone, it'd be a different shirt. Just to let you know I'm being disrespectful.
The disrespect. We got to get a whole soundboard just of you. Just one is, the disrespect. One is Donde Está La Leche. I don't know what else is on there, but
Lake Show.
Lake Show.
I had to throw that in because I'm wearing the shirt
Good
today.
for you, man. Whatever. Good for you. Good. For
It
you.
feels, bro. I deserve this one.
Who's the Lakers fan base of San Diego high school sports?
Ooh.
It's gotta be.
That's going on.
It's
That's going on the poll. That's going on the poll too.
Honestly, it's gotta be.
Who's
Can I say this? I don't know.
You can say it if you want.
I feel like, and I'm a Laker fan, so this isn't like a disrespectful thing. This is just a compliment because I love the pride and the passion. So that's why I'm gonna go with this team. I think it's Helix. It's Helix. Who the Lakers have? What they're tied for the most championships in San Diego right now.
I think this depends very greatly on how you interpret Lakers fan base as a sentence.
A passionate, dedicated, loving franchise. They love like Rondo, right? They're on Rondo the whole season. Then he comes up in the playoffs. Now they need to they want to build a statue for Rondo. They're gonna love their players who, if you perform, it doesn't matter who you are. They're gonna give Alex Caruso. Come on, they love their players. Okay, that's why I'm going with Helix.
So you got to make a Helix analogy there. You can't just be talking about your.
For Helix, for Helix, whenever they could be winning.
Yeah,
right?
You can't name
every
a single
game.
player on their basketball team.
But look, they could be winning every single game, and then we pick them once to lose a big game. And who's the first people that are on our Twitter talking to us? Helix. Oh, what? You picked against us? And then there's a whole highlight reel after they win 56-0 the next week.
I'm pretty sure that Carson Baker
they
still sort of on me as a human being because we put him 17th as top 50 seniors.
And look at him. Exactly. That's why I look. See, Helix Nation, Laker Nation. It just makes sense.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know where I was going past that, but let's close out on this. There's a tweet sent out by Darren Ravel that had a pool set up in Vegas.
Yeah, brand new hotel.
That's like a new hotel that's got six like 2 million foot wide screens that
out by the pool.
That are out by the pool watching that. And I'm asking this: if it's a vague analogy, but if we are in the season where there's going to be limited capacity at high school, if not no capacity at high school stadiums, where is everybody going to actually watch Friday night football? I would be very curious what that looks like. Is it going to, and my analogy was I can see Tommy going to his house and sitting in his pool and watching, UC play outside like that. But I'm legitimately thinking about this the last couple of days because we've been talking a lot about doing play-by-play this coming year and what the format of that looks like and how you get that best distributed and how we create the most bang for our buck on that. But I was genuinely curious out there to everybody, and I don't know if we're the right room because we'd all still want to try and be at those games,
right.
But I wonder how people are going to watch Friday Night Lights this year if they are resorted to having to stream it because of COVID saying you can only have players and coaches at the games. I think we might even be a casualty of that. I would assume that it would be pretty low on CIF's interest to be like, oh, yeah, we'll let 4 dudes break the bubble, or we'll let 30 KUSI photographers break the vague bubble. Like, it seems like it's going to be a real thing that there might be a scenario where we have pretty limited access to all this. So just a random thought, but like, yeah, how is that a gather everyone around the table? We're going to watch on the TV, like, or you just watch it on your phone. Like, I'm super interested about how that ends up happening.
Get everyone out to, what is it? Does Verona have one of those pools? Get some streaming.
Get someone in Verona. Put your mask on. That's funny. I mean, I think I would imagine that if they were able to get a stream type of thing, that it would turn into like a couple families, like maybe 1 or 2 families getting together, having a little Sunday football gathering like that. I'm not encouraging it, obviously. Wear your mask, stay safe.
No, I'm just curious.
But I feel like that's what people would resort to. Have a little cookout in the backyard, so the air is circulating everywhere, and
Yeah. So do you think that people would actually tailgate at home? I just don't. I don't know.
I think you're right. There would definitely be an emphasis to get more games streamed, just because people watch, and therefore, if sponsors would want to step up because there's more people viewing, and I could definitely see that being.
Well, it's also that streaming is now incredibly cheap to do if you do it with little expectation of doing it super well. I mean, if you sit down and say, okay, we're going to watch this, the World Series level broadcast, this is not what I wanted, this high school stream. Okay, yeah, like there's a huge difference there, but it doesn't cost that much to, step out and do stuff. And NFHS is now offering some great deals with cameras that you can get for free as long as you sign a contract of a certain length. And I think that we'll find that there's a lot more student bases that we didn't really realize were quite as dialed in as they are. I know that LCC and Valhalla
Santa Fe
and
Christian.
They're going to find
Christian.
a way.
Yeah, there's already a lot of existing student bases, and with how effective it can be, I think we'll see more of that. But I'm just curious what that consumption actually ends up looking like, because I think everybody is doing things more differently now than ever before. Like the four of us probably all watch television in a different way than one than the other. No, like I've got Amazon and Hulu, and you've got Netflix, and nobody on earth has Quibi anymore. And Colton watches Trucker TV or whatever their subscription channel is.
YouTube TV.
Yeah, YouTube TV. Yeah,
some of the other states we cover at SB Live, when I'm watching games over that for the states that have started. I mean, Arkansas, you get several hundred people in every live stream right now. I mean, sponsors and I don't think you'd like to have one announcer, but it doesn't, as you said, doesn't need to be this full-on multi-camera guy down on the field sideline reporter thing. Like you can still, it's worth it and people will watch. So be interested to see how that goes.
Yeah,
when one door closes, another one opens. I'm just
and I would hope that also it's something that people around the count. I mean, first off, at SD Prep Insider on Twitter and Instagram, I'm Mr. CPED. Bodie's SD Preps. Noah is Noah Lax _17 or Noah _Lax 17. I forget.
You'll type in Noah.
No, are they different on Instagram and Twitter, or are they the exact same?
Same, like Noah _Lax. That's the same
deal.
for both. But then for Twitter, it's 2017, and then for Instagram,
okay, so I knew there was some difference.
Yeah.
And Colton is pro Colton Toll. You can talk to any of us directly or all of us on Twitter and social media about how would you consume stuff if you were at a distance. Doesn't have to necessarily be at home, but if you're just not at the game, is that something that you would make time to sit down on, stream it on TV, or would you just take it on your phone and it's not really worth you being like, oh, Friday night is getting a tweet here from Andrew Clark, or a text from Andrew Clark. It doesn't have. All right, I can't read that.
What's he saying?
It says, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on air or not.
Okay. Whoa.
We'll get to it after that in the post game show. But yeah, like maybe people don't say, oh, that football game is worth actually my time. I'll take it with me wherever I go and just check in on it. I would genuinely like to know, do you only want to watch the fourth quarter if it's close? We got to figure all that kind of stuff out now, because I think we'll be at a scenario where I just don't see right now 50+% admittance to these games.
Not at all.
Like, I see stuff still happening at the rate that we're going, because ultimately CIF is going to just make it, from my understanding, a decision of it's up to everybody on a case-by-case basis. We are going to still operate as a season organizer and say that from this date until that date is opportunity for regular season games, and then from this date till that date is opportunity for your sectional championship games, and then from this date to this date is the state championship games. And whoever decides to participate, we will adjust per it. You know, if 7 teams show up out of 22 for Division I, we'll play with 7 teams in that division, and we'll make it happen. Like it's. I think everything's going to happen. It's just going to be a limited capacity. So I'm curious. Like, I would assume volleyball games will really not be great on admitting people, because that's an indoor thing. Some of these experiences are just going to have to be streamed, and I just want to hear from people and know what's up on that front. That's kind of all I got for this week. You guys got like, is there any revelations that I missed from that stuff that came out? Return to sports wise, or are we good?
No, I know up in LA City that county's in the purple right now, but they seem to think if they can get within the red,
I don't think we can keep going.
They'll be playing. So we'll see. I mean, obviously we're in the red, creeping away from it. So I feel pretty confident though we'll play, whether or not it's the full capacity. I just don't see that.
Bodie, I'll let you be the judge of whether or not this should get read out loud on the show from Andrew Clark.
That's a great quote.
I was kind of expecting someone would put in that as the answer.
Deal. So that's nice. Is that you?
Sorry about
no,
that.
that was you. All right, I was freaking out. I
It's
heard
the
a
trap
voice over
phone.
here.
I'm just
Anything else from you, Noah?
Nah, I just hope everyone's being safe and have a great rest of your weekend.
Colton?
Now we're good. Everybody stay safe.
Deal. All righty. Thank you to Robert Tucker for joining us. Thank you to Grossmont Football for having an exciting offense. Thank you to everybody for helping us count down the final 50 days until high school sports allegedly returns in some format, if only an esport format. We'll embrace it. Talk to you guys next week.